Hi, I'm Benjamin Bernstein with astroshaman.com. Titanic extremes, good or bad, can be fueled by a year-long Jupiter-Pluto conjunction at 24 degrees 53 minutes Capricorn. I'll eventually include Saturn, who's energetically conjunct these two planets in this interpretation, but let's start with Jupiter and Pluto. This Jupiter-Pluto conjunction came into orb, which means close enough to connect energetically, on January 29 of 2020 and will remain in orb through January 7 of 2021. They'll make two more exact conjunctions on June 30th and November 12th. Pluto, as we're currently seeing with the coronavirus crisis, can bring death, transformation, and eventually rebirth. Jupiter, our solar system's biggest gas giant, is all about expansion. So he can take whatever Pluto is doing and make it truly gargantuan. This is a two-part video. If I've done my math right, each part should last around 10 minutes, give or take a minute or two. This video, part one, focuses on the astrological factors. In part two, I'll share my ideas and experiences that explore the coronavirus as a potent catalyst for global awakening. These are one-take videos, so if I mess up, as I already did, I'll just correct my mistake and keep going. The content here will be mostly the same as in my blog post and audio podcast. Ren Butler masterfully lays out these Jupiter-Pluto possibilities in his wonderful book called The Archetypal Universe, Astrological Patterns in Human Culture, Thought, Emotion, and Dreams. As always, I feel blessed to draw from his masterwork on planetary combinations with his permission to share these archetypal possibilities. First, I'll share the most compelling ideas from Ren's Jupiter-Pluto section. Then I'll add in the most important themes from the multi-year Saturn-Pluto conjunction, as well as other planets who make strong aspects to the Jupiter-Pluto conjunction. The bottom line is that we're really looking at 2020's most important astrological event, a Jupiter-Saturn-Pluto Triple Conjunction. Let's start with some positive potentials of the Jupiter-Pluto conjunction. Great resources and potential, titanic evolutionary forces, the capacity for enormous success, empowerment through education, intensive urges to improve, the recognition that power either benefits all or none, an ethic of right makes might as opposed to might makes right, dramatic opportunities for regeneration and transformation, beneficial destruction, heavy experiences with a positive outcome, the long trip into and through the underworld of the psyche, triumph through facing death, intense idealism, the faith to move mountains, empowered activism or philanthropy, the urge to share one's transformative experiences with the larger culture, and the power of truth. Obviously, this Jupiter-Pluto conjunction has plenty of upside potential, but we're also wise to stay alert to its darker possibilities. These include extreme material or spiritual ambition, a tendency to feel high and mighty, which threatens those in authority, an obsession with glory and greatness, political drama, delusions of superiority, opportunities to abuse power, runaway power trips, inclinations to act as a law unto yourself, the power elite, plutocracy, obsessive righteousness, fanaticism, and overkill, misplaced moral urgency, religious or other dogma, ideals of betterment and progress as a reason to dominate other people and nature, and stupendous waste of shared resources. So, the Jupiter-Pluto conjunction can be used selflessly and or selfishly. Earth is a free will zone, so we each get to choose how we behave on this spectrum. The same is true for the Saturn-Pluto conjunction. A year of Jupiter-Pluto might seem like a long time, but the Saturn-Pluto conjunction lasts nearly 4 years. It came into orb on January 31 of 2018 and will not wrap up until December 18 of 2021. If you can spare a few minutes, I strongly encourage you to read my deep dive interpretation of the January 12th Saturn-Pluto conjunction. You can also listen to a 28-minute MP3 of me interpreting it, excerpted from my 2020 forecast lecture. This free MP3 contains lots of additional information about this momentous event, and I will have links to those in the description box that accompanies this video. Drawing from that forecast, here are the potentials of the Saturn-Pluto conjunction that feel most important during our coronavirus crisis. I once again acknowledge, drawing from Ren Butler's The Archetypal Universe, as well as Richard Tarnas's masterwork called Cosmos and Psyche, Intimations of a New Worldview. I've also linked those books in the notes. So here's some Saturn-Pluto combos. Profound discipline, strength, and endurance, heroic self-control, the capacity to bear down with great force and pressure on difficult situations until they're resolved, a deep sense of responsibility, challenges which lead to an urgent reformulation of priorities, a need to cut your losses and deepen your commitment to the important things in life, profound feelings of powerlessness, but with the resolve to continue, feelings of anxiety and fear, negative or threatening forces, a perception of irrevocable pressure and change, profoundly weighty events of enduring consequence. That's profoundly weighty events of enduring consequence. The irrevocable termination of an established order of existence, displays of personal and collective determination, unbending will, courage, and sacrifice in the face of danger and death, and the transformation and forging of enduring structures, whether material, political, or psychological. Back to Jupiter-Pluto for a moment. 3 planets make important aspects to the Jupiter-Pluto conjunction. We've already discussed Saturn in terms of his conjunction to Pluto, but Saturn is also conjunct Jupiter and Pluto and influences this conjunction because of his proximity. The fact that Jupiter, Saturn, and Pluto crisscross each other throughout 2020, that's crisscross, emphasizes how tightly integrated they are this year. Saturn's influence is well represented in the discussion I've just given you of the Saturn-Pluto conjunction and needs no more elaboration here. That leaves 2 more planets that add their influence to the Jupiter-Pluto conjunction. Pallas Athena is less than 1 degree past Jupiter and Pluto. She's a renowned warrior goddess who sprang fully armored from the head of Zeus. If you want to use warlike terms, she could represent our battle against the coronavirus. However, Pallas is also known for being a master of strategy. With no vaccine to prevent it and no medicine that can cure it, we're ill-equipped to wage a traditional battle against the virus. So Pallas reminds us that we have to be clever to prevent it from spreading. The final important aspect to the Jupiter-Pluto conjunction is Eris, who makes a tight square from Aries. She's best known as the goddess of discord. Snubbed from attending an important wedding attended by many Greek gods, she crashed the party and tossed out an apple marked "to the fairest," F-A-I-R-E-S-T. The resulting brouhaha among the women escalated into the Trojan War. On one level, Eris warns us against sowing unnecessary discord that can make our challenging situation even worse. But even this seeming villain has her upside. Sometimes, when it's time for a big change, we need someone to upset the apple cart and shock us out of our status quo. This ends part 1 of this 2-part video series. In part 2, I'll share my ideas and experiences that explore the coronavirus as a potent catalyst for global awakening. You should be able to click a link for part 2 on the screen. In any event, there's going to be a link to part 2 in the description box. I'll see you there.